It all started with a scream, a desperate cry echoing through a dim hospital hallway. A little girl, no older than 8, pressed her tiny hand against the cold metal door of the emergency room, tears clinging to her cheeks. Her mother was inside, fighting for her life after collapsing from exhaustion, untreated illness, and years of overwork. They had no money, no relatives, no one to call. Just the two of them, Alya and her mother, Meher. Alya had always been a clever child. Too clever for someone so small. She knew which streets to avoid, which fruit vendors gave out overripe bananas for free, and how to distract shopkeepers just long enough to steal a piece of bread. But this wasn't about food now. This was about her mother. The nurse had said if they didn't pay for her medication, her mother could die tonight. Alya had never felt such fear in her short life. She ran out into the street, barefoot, heart pounding. It was evening in Karachi, and the sidewalks were busy with office workers and street vendors packing up for the night. Alya wandered the sidewalks, scanning faces and pockets. She had to do something. Anything. That's when she saw him. A tall man in a sharp navy suit stepped out of a black car that gleamed like polished stone under the streetlight. He looked important, like those men in the dramas her mom used to watch before the electricity was cut. His wristwatch probably cost more than anything Alya had seen in her life. He was on the phone, distracted, walking toward a restaurant entrance. And that's when she made her move. Alya's small fingers reached into the back pocket of his trousers. She snatched the thick leather wallet without him noticing and bolted through the crowd like a shadow. Her feet burned on the hot pavement, her lungs ached, but she didn't stop until she was blocks away, hidden behind a stack of crates in a closed market. She opened the wallet with trembling fingers. Credit cards, thick bundles of notes, a photo of the same man with a woman and a baby. Alya stared at it for a moment. The baby had curls like hers. Big eyes like hers. She shook the thought away. It didn't matter. She took the money, only what she needed, and ran back to the hospital. The nurse hesitated but took the crumpled notes when Alya begged. Her mother got the medication. Her breathing stabilized. She would live. Alya stayed at her side all night, her little hand wrapped around Meher's. The next morning, Alya returned the wallet. She left it at the front desk of the restaurant the man had walked into. No name. No note. Just a child-sized act of guilt and gratitude. But the man noticed. Not just the missing wallet, which he'd cancelled, but the photo inside. When it was returned, nothing was missing except a few notes. And the person who had taken it had left no trace. For some reason, he couldn't let it go. That man was Ryan Khalid. One of the wealthiest businessmen in Pakistan. He had grown up in the UK but returned to Pakistan 10 years ago to build an empire. He had no family, at least, none he acknowledged. Years ago, in his youth, he had fallen in love with a woman from a poor family. They were young, reckless. But his parents never approved. They had forced them apart. She had tried to tell him something before she left, but his pride hadn't let him listen. Her name was Meher. A week later, Ryan did something unusual. He went back to that street, again and again. Asking around. He spoke to vendors, taxi drivers, beggars. And then one day, someone mentioned a little girl, barefoot, big eyes, who had been seen running that night. They pointed him to a nearby hospital. He walked into the hospital and asked for Meher. When Ryan entered the small ward, he saw her. Thinner, tired, but still beautiful. She froze when she saw him. Ryan, she whispered, disbelief choking her voice. He stepped closer. Meher. I didn't know. I never knew. And then he saw Alya. Sitting beside her mother, holding her hand protectively. Those eyes, his eyes. Her curls, his mother's. He dropped to his knees, stunned. Alia didn't understand. "Mommy, who is this man?" Tears slipped from Meher's eyes as she whispered, "This is your father." For the first time in years, silence fell between them. Ryan didn't know what to say. Meher explained how she had tried to reach him but was blocked by his family. She had raised Alia alone, working multiple jobs, living in slums, surviving day by day. Ryan felt the weight of years crash over him. He didn't leave that day. He stayed. He moved Meher into a better hospital. He sat by Alia as she told him stories of her mother, of their tiny house, of her dreams. Slowly, painfully, a broken family began to stitch itself back together. In the coming months, Ryan gave up more than just time and money. He gave up ego. He gave up the emptiness of his lonely life. He started living like a father, learning how to braid hair, how to cook rice the way Alia liked, how to pray at night with his daughter holding his hand. Alia, who once stole to save her mother, now had two parents at her side. And Ryan, who once thought he had everything, realized he had been poor until the moment he held his daughter. They never forgot where they came from. Ryan opened a foundation in Meher's name, free healthcare for single mothers and children in need. He taught Alia the importance of giving back, of never judging by appearances. And Alia? She never stole again. She never needed to. Because sometimes, fate writes stories too unbelievable to be fiction. A stolen wallet. A little girl's love. And a billionaire who didn't know that the most precious thing he'd ever lost, had come back to him, not in a boardroom, but in a hospital ward, holding a mother's hand.